Hey, everybody, welcome to Pixels. This is my podcast, and in this series where I'm talking about in this series that I'm doing today, I'm talking about tips that we pushed out on TT in this past week. I generate a bunch of tips, at least 5 every week, that I push out on social media for TT, and I'm limited, of course, with social media, with Twitter, of how many characters you can use, so how much you can really get into it. So in this podcast, in this series, I kind of try and give a little more flavor in each one of those tips. So let's start back with what we pushed out this week, and starting back last Sunday, we had a tweet that was centered on sweep orders and market depth in either a secondary default quantity or maximum order quantity. What's this all about? A lot of people like to sweep the market. You might want to sweep the market. You might want to go and grab all the contracts that are available in a market because you want to move the market that way, and it's going to go. And it's perfectly legal, perfectly great thing to do. A lot of people do it. It's a popular thing to do. Sometimes you don't want that whole order book, though. Sometimes you might want to sweep the market and it's like, whoa, I just picked up 45,000 contracts. You don't want that many contracts. You want to limit yourself to, say, 10,000 contracts or 1,000 contracts or 50 contracts. You can do that. Now, there's a secondary default quantity you can set and say, I want to sweep the order book, but I only want to grab this many contracts. That's it. I don't want to go past that. So that configuration is there now. This tip shows you how to get to that configuration and set it on the TT platform. Next tip, right-click on NVTrader order entry panel and click show hide to hide or expose buttons and controls like header panel, account, order type, liquidate button, and more. What's this all about? This is just a very simple tweet that shows you how to configure your NVTrader. A lot of people see NVTrader pops up. This is big, thick, wide things. Like, what do I do with all these buttons? What do I do with these panels? This is just a real quick tip to show you how to actually get around there, change that, reconfigure it, and show it the way you may want to show it. Add some different order types and things like that you can add to the TT platform. Real easy, real quick, real simple. Good thing to know. Next tip was a market update. We'll talk about that. Next tip was centered on Autospreader, some typical Autospreader spread configurations. A lot of people see Autospreader, they hear about Autospreader, it's like, well, I don't know how to, they open it up, they're like, I don't know what to do here. How do I actually set this spread up? What am I going to do? And here's some real simple, basic, low-level ways to do that. Actually, high-level ways to do that. These are some very simple spread configurations. Those are some very common spreads: the crush spread, the crack spread, E-mini to mini down, tut. And these are just examples. You can go in and tweak and do whatever you want to do. You can do it just like this, whatever you want to do. But a lot of people will then go in and they'll change those configurations as well. This is from quite some time ago, so these configs could be off a little bit, but it gives you an idea of how to go out and do this. And then, of course, traders will actually spread or add their own Autospreader rules to it as well, to have their own flavor to the spread and hopefully gain some edge in that marketplace and find a way to actually have an advantage against other traders and a better way to get in and out of the market, trade with a little more efficiency. So again, this is just some very simple examples of how you can set up an Autospreader configuration. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. Next tip was a market update. We're going to pass over that. Next tip is TT Score. TT Score, love TT Score. TT Score, this tip is, TT Score includes problematic trading models like momentum ignition, which looks at trading activity that may create directional price movement and then capitalize on the result. So what are people doing there? People are kind of pumping the market up. You hear about pumping a lot with crypto and stuff like that, and other markets do it as well. So people try to pump the market up, get it to go higher so they can sell it up here above, do whatever they want to do. Market ignition, that's what it's kind of called. You always hear about spoofing. But there's a lot of different rules that we have in TT and in TT Score to allow you to identify nefarious trading. This is one of them, market ignition. There's a link in here that explains a little more detail, and you'll be able to figure it out. But that's where we're kind of going with that. I wonder if I can get that link right now, actually. So you can kind of get to it and see what that actual market momentum actually looks like. This is the link to the help library that shows you exactly what ignition is all about. So you can go and link at that and see that and find out exactly what we're talking about. It's a good thing to know. Back to the list. And with all these tweets, pretty much every single tweet that we put out, there's going to be a link like that at the bottom of them. That link will take you back to the help file in TT to show you how to actually do that with a little more graphic detail when I explain here in the tweet itself. Next tweet was a market update. We'll skip over that. Another market update. We'll skip over that. Then we put out again the tweet about the Autospreader configuration. Then we tweeted again about the TT Score market ignition. We'll skip over that. Market updates. Don't need that. Okay, this way. This is another Autospreader one. This one's really cool too because it kind of shows changes that we make within Autospreader. We're trying to notify people, hey, a change has been made. Here's this yellow box that kind of jumps out and says, boom, there's a change made, and we're allowing you to actually go in and look at that change in more graphic detail. So what you can do, you can click the drop down to compare the old versus new versions of the Autospreader rule. So there was a rule in Autospreader, you use that in your Autospreader, and now we changed that. We enhanced it, we improved it, we added efficiency, whatever we did. we're going to show you very graphically the changes we made, the old rule and the new rule, so you know very clearly what changes were made to this and how you can actually go in and take advantage of that rule. And again, you're going to get that notification if you're using that rule in the spread configuration right now, or have been, and then you open it up in the Autospreader config box. It's going to tell you, hey, you hold on, check it out. We made a change here. Here it is. Look at it in detail. Next rule, or next tweet was create and use bookmarks in the ADL canvas to easily locate specific sections of the algo logic that you had created. So when you have a very large, elaborate algo, it's going to take up a lot of screen space. And you kind of see in the video example I show here that this algo goes kind of all over the place. It's big, takes up a lot of space. It rolls off the screen. What bookmarks allows you to do is say, hey, this certain part of code, I want to go back to it a bunch and look at it again, or I need it for some other reason. So I'm going to bookmark it so I can get back there very quickly without scrolling all over the place, scrolling all over my ADL canvas. It's going to allow me to quickly jump to that section of code and make my changes, copy it, do whatever I want to do. So that's how you create bookmarks to move around ADL canvas very quickly. Next two tweets were some market updates. We'll skip those. Next tweet goes back to our buddy Anthony Crudele from Futures Radio. Anthony did a podcast with Jim Dalton. If you're not familiar with Jim Dalton, he's pretty much one of the godfathers of market profile, and he's going to talk about that in a good deal in this interview. It's a great interview. You'll learn all about that. If you're looking for market profile on TT, it's called price distribution. We have a different name for it. It's basically the same functionality. It's basically the same thing. We just call it price distribution. So if you are a market profile trader, you can do that on TT. You just got to look for price distribution charts and you'll be good to go. Next tweet, interested in iron ore futures. Use Autospreader to capture iron ore pricing differentials between international exchanges and dying commodity exchange. Watch the space for new opportunities coming. So what that's all about, what it's basically saying is that, yeah, a lot of people like iron ore. They hear iron ore is this big marketplace in China, and it's huge, a massive market there. There's other international markets as well too that you can trade iron ore on. TT with Autospreader allows you to spread those markets very easily. So you can buy at one market, sell at another. This kind of shows you how to set that up and make that configuration. It also kind of shows you how to take out the currency translation. What the currency translation means is essentially, let's say you're looking at iron ore at Dalton commodity exchange, that's going to be priced in yuan. Then if you do it at SGX, it's going to be priced in dollars. You got to normalize those dollars a little bit. This shows you how to do that, to normalize those dollars. Take the dollar contract that's priced in yuan, takes the yuan out, puts it back in US dollars. So now it's basically priced in the same currency as the contract at SGX. There's other exchanges that are coming along you can do this iron ore stuff with as well. We'll get into that some other time later. Next tweet is create and use bookmarks in ADL canvas to easily, we did this one already. Next tweet was a market update. Now we're back into the Autospreader market update. Next tweet, assign accounts with introducing broker accounts to maintain the top level risk controls while allowing an IB to assign accounts and others and name and control risk. What this is all about is essentially, let's say you have an introducing broker and you are an introducing broker and you go through whoever, a bigger broker, an ADM, or you go through Goldman, whoever it is. The top tier FCM can pass down a big chunk of risk to you. They can pass down and say, we're going to give you $1 million of risk. Okay. Now I'm an introducing broker. I can take that $1 million of risk and now I can subdivide that out to different individuals. Let's say that $1 million of risk, I'm giving an introducing broker. I can put $250,000 in this trader, $300,000 over this trader, and divide it up among different places I want to go. This is what it does. This is what the tiering structure within our account structure allows you to do, to subdivide risk out to multiple traders, multiple groups, multiple people. So that's what that tip is all about. And again, there's a link in there that you can go to that will show you that in a little more graphic detail, how that works. Next step, learn about trading opportunities available with Chinese crude oil options in a webinar series hosted by Nanhua Futures and Shanghai International Energy Exchange with featured guests from trading technology. This is going on this Sunday night. And that's actually back here on my whiteboard. Sunday, August 22nd, 8 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time. That's 9 a.m. in Shanghai. And what we're going to do is Mark Pottle from TT in Singapore he's done most of the work with TT on getting us into the China market. He is going to present along some people from Nanhua, which is an introducing broker, as well as International Energy Exchange in Shanghai, about how to capitalize, how to use these options on crude futures that are available at INE. These options are available to international traders. So this is an international contract. It's not just available to traders in China. It's available to people if you're in Hong Kong. It's available if you're in Singapore, if you're in Sydney, if you're in Houston, if you're in New York, you're in Chicago, you're in London, you're in Leipzig, wherever you are, you can get to these contracts. If you're in Tokyo, you can get to these contracts. You can trade these contracts through TT and through Nanhua Futures. So that tells you a little about it. Click on the link in the tweet. and it's going to show you how to actually get to it or use that scan code. But if you click on the actual image, it's going to take you a little more detail as well too. Next tweet was market update. Next tweet was, once again, we repeated the one about updating your auto spreader. Another tweet about the webinar with Nanhua and IME. Market update, market update. Next tweet, this one's kind of cool. A lot of people ask about this, and this is kind of, I call it like the information bar on TT Mobile. This breaks down and shows you what if you're using TT Mobile, you're going to see these little bars on the market page. Then some people are, what does this really mean? It's blue on the left, it's red on the right, there's a white line over here, there's a yellow triangle. What does this stuff all mean? This tweet shows you what that's all about. You click through that, it's going to take you to the actual article and show you what all those little lines mean. I mean, effectively on the blue, that's all the buy. That's basically all of the market below the current price. To the right is above the current price. The yellow little box triangle, sometimes a little bit dash, is going to show you where the last traded price was. The down triangle says the last traded price was a tick down, up is a tick up. And the white dash line right there, that shows the opening price of the day. So you kind of get a spatial idea of where this really goes. And the way this, one of the ways this works really well is if you're looking at a curve, like on crude or Eurodollar or something like that, you can see very quickly how the curve is actually moving. If it's, you know, if it's increasing, if it's decreasing, you can see that very quickly and easily on your TT Mobile. So it's a nice little bit of knowledge to have. Next tweet was a market update about grains and softs. Next tweet was a market update. Next tweet was again about the TT Mobile and how to read that little time bar. Next tweet was a market update. Next tweet, use the order book widget to change order parameters, including order type. For example, turn a limit order into TT iceberg order. A lot of people don't realize you can do this. You can actually, you can go into your order book and let's say you've got a working order and it's a limit order for 100 contracts. Or if you want to change that into an iceberg, you can do that. You can do that in order book. This kind of shows you how to do that. You can turn into all different types of order types. You can add TT synthetic order type management rules onto a resting order. It might get the order replaced, depends what you're really doing, but there's a way to do that. So you can go into order book, you can click on that order, highlight it, and go in and change that order type into several different other types of order types. Next tip was a market update. Next tip was about hotkeys. Hotkeys is a way to actually use your keyboard, use the keyboard on your actual laptop or on your PC to actually enter orders very quickly. And I put this one out there because someone actually asked it and sent the question into TT about how to actually do this. They wanted to know, how do I go and place bids and offers in the inside market automatically? I wanted to do it. There's not like really an order way to do that on like MD Trader. With the hotkey, you can do that. You can actually go in instead of hotkey and say, if I hit this button, boom, I'm just going to join this bid. If I hit this keyboard, this key in the keyboard, boom, I'm going to automatically join the best offer. So you can do that. That is a way to go and join the best bid, best offer, things like that. And there's all sorts of things you can do with hotkeys. There's a bunch of rules there. Click on the link. It'll show you much more detail, some of the things you can do with hotkeys. And you can configure hotkeys yourself as well, where you can go in and actually go outside of the rules we have there and create your own type of quick hotkey functionality. And that wraps it up. That is all the tips we pushed out this week. So if you have any questions, you have anything you want to learn about, hear about, let me know. I'd be happy to fill you in about that. But that's a series. Hope you had a good week. Trade well. We'll talk to you next week.